hold open. Hi, this is Misha, and I finally got it. If you watch our earlier FAL videos, specifically part 4 looking at the Argentinian guns, I mentioned that one Argentinian gun that had eluded me was the Type 3 FAP, FAP, which basically stands for Automatic Rifle, which is their squad automatic version based on the FAL. Well, a short time after I did that video, a friend contacted me about another mutual acquaintance of ours that happened to have this rifle, and he was considering selling it. He was a little reluctant at first, but he came around pretty quick, and then I ended up buying it, and here it is. This is a Preban Argentine F.M.A.P. Now, it's marked FSL, just like all the other ones, although it really should be marked FSP for the semi-automatic version of the FAP. But, you know, I guess I didn't feel like changing the markings. This is it's nearly an exact copy of the Belgian version. We have a long 21-inch barrel, same length as the standard, but it's much heavier. It gets even heavier under the handguard. It's heavier out here, although not as much. It does taper. We have a long flash hider with the bipod lug on it. This is a heavy-duty bipod, too, made of, I don't know, girders, leftover girders maybe. Much heavier duty than the stamped version on the Israeli. Have a pretty standard gas block here with open air sights, tall sights. Again, it's an Argentine thing. The later Belgian versions, the ones imported into the USA, would have the shorter closed ear. The gas tube is more or less all exposed for cooling purposes. And we have a wooden, very large, forward pointing carry handle versus the ones used on later. Now, Argentina mostly used wood, whereas Israel and FN and everyone else would go to the polymer. And of course, we have the wood handguard to match it. It's worth noting that late in production, FMAP would go to a plastic carry handle and handguard, but the imported ones I've seen all have the wood. Now in the rear, this is all pretty well standard Argentine FAL, standard buttstock, made of polymer, which is correct. All the Argentines I've seen have the polymer stocked, although the FN guns came in as either polymer as the 50.41 or wood as the 50.42. Either way, FN would do both polymer and wood. Argentina seems like they pretty much did the polymer, at least on the import guns. There are a couple of different styles of this buttstock, though, including one with the folding butt plate. This one's just a standard rubber butt plate. Now, the early FAPs in Argentinian service were Belgian-made guns, as with, most any of the licensed productions. But as time would go on, they would switch and make their own. This has an Argentine sling on it, and leather, very heavy duty. This bipod is very much a copy of the Belgian, with one exception. It has a pivoting head. It can rotate several degrees, which is kind of nice, and that's an easy way to tell the Argentinian heavy barrel bipods from the Belgian. But really, it's a standard FAL, just with a heavy barrel. Take standard mags. This is a 20 in it. You can also put 30s in it, of course. Now, this is serial number 11. If anyone out there knows about the Preban Argentinian heavy barrel imports, please contact me or leave a comment below. I have looked everywhere on the FAL files, everywhere online, and aside from a few photos and just a few mentions, there is nothing out there on how many of these came in and the details like that. This is serial 11, as I said. That's about all I know. I know they came in, and I know there can't be that many. Other than that, I know nothing about the import history. This is Armscorp. I have to wonder if one of two things happened. When they brought these in, they either just didn't sell well, because to be fair, for the civilian shooter back in the 80s, this gun really offered nothing over the standard FAL. It's just a bigger and heavier version, but it's not really any more accurate. Might look neat, but that's about it. So I can understand if these weren't terribly successful. Also, they were competing against cheap, at least comparatively cheaper, heavy barrels from Springfield, the SAR 48 Match, which are built in the US on M-Bell receivers using Israeli parts kits. So it may have been a competition thing. It may have just been lack of interest. They may just not have sold well. They imported one batch that didn't sell, so they didn't bring more in. It's also possible these came in very late, 1988, early 1989, and while they might have wanted to import more, they never did because of the Bush executive order banning the importation of FAL type rifles, among many, many others. But I wanted to show this because I really have been wanting one of these. I've been looking for about 10 years. In addition to just being neat, it really completes my Argentinian lineup. So now I can recreate that famous photo from the Armscorp catalog with all the guns leaned up against a crate or barn door, whatever it is. But yeah, like I said, from the rear onwards, it's pretty much just standard FAL tall barrel shots. It's all in the barrel assembly where these are different, but it is considerably heavier. Now, in military service, the heavy barrel FALs were not spectacular. In fact, they had some issues. Not very many nations even adopted these. Argentina was kind of unique in both manufacturing and adopting them. They did see use in the Falklands War as light machine guns. And some of the British even captured them to use alongside their L1A1s.